Just having a look at the weather forecast for Richmond versus Freo this week. It says to bring your own ark. I knew there'd come a day where we missed Cumberland. G'day everyone, welcome to Tigers of Old. Today we're going to have a quick look back at the game the VFL team played against Southport last week, and also to the changes that have taken place for the senior side this week against the Freo Shockers. So we had a really good win over Southport last week, 40 points in the end we won by, and some AFL listed players and some VFL listed players had really, really good games. Thought I'd touch on those really quickly and then we can talk about the ins and outs, who got promoted, and also talk about who was a bit unlucky to miss out this week. So Jasper Alger played an outstanding game, 15 disposals, 5 goals, took marks, crumbed, ran into position, kicked them from the boundary, kicked them from straight out, kicked them from everywhere. He had a really, really good game and he certainly looked above the level. And if he can bring a little bit more pressure and when he hasn't got the ball to his game, then it will be complete. I thought Gray had a pretty good game down back as well. He also went into the ruck when Hayes Brown was off the ground, took some really good intercepts, made some really good spoils, punches the ball a long way, used the ball pretty well when he got it and looked to launch attacks. So I didn't mind his game. He played well. Likewise, Josh Gibcus, I thought his first quarter was a little rough, but after that, he got right into the game, and I don't think he lost too many contests after that. Actually, I thought he played really well after that. He spoiled well, and he intercepted a couple of times, and he looked to be getting more and more confident as the game went on. He launched a couple of attacks, and I think as the weeks go by, we'll see him come out of his shell. I would expect him to be back in our team sooner rather than later. Thought Hayes Brown after the first quarter did well, and probably in the second half, probably even won the second half, or at least broke even against a really, really good VFL ruckman that Southport had. I thought the way he uses his hands was really good. He gets his hands clear and he hand passes to advantage. His tap-outs in the second half were more to advantage. His kicking needs some work, but I think overall he played pretty well, and I was a bit surprised he didn't come in this week. Probably weather-related more than form-related, because I thought he did pretty well. Piker, well, I said a couple of weeks ago that Piker's a left-footer, and it was written up that he's a left-footer. If he's a left-footer, I'll go he. He did kick against Carlton in the VFL practice match. He did kick a nice goal, maybe even 2 on his left. This week he kicked almost predominantly with his right. I think I saw him kick once on the left, but he kicked predominantly on his right. So if he is a left footer, he's transitioning over to the right. He uses the ball really well. He's a smart player. He runs, he hassles, he chases. He will get a senior run pretty soon. Steely Green, look out. I reckon this kid's coming for your spot. He's going to be a jet. I thought while Luke Traynor did some good things, his disposal still worries me. He spoiled really well. He intercepted well. He looks really confident. There's a lot of things he does that are above the VFL level, but sometimes his ball use really lets him down. He really tries to bite a lot off, and he tries to kick off no steps or one step too often for my liking. He just needs to slow it down a little bit, have a good look, make sure he's picking the right option, because too many times he would chip the ball sideways or forward 30 metres to a one-on-one contest, which is not the best. But overall, he played okay. I would have left him down there for another week. I would have brought Gibcus up, considering that we're playing against 3 giants in their forward line. That's the way I would have gone, but it's not the way. We obviously wanted more run, and that's what we've done. Maybe he doesn't play in defence. Maybe he plays a bit further up the ground. Caleb Smith was okay. My knock on Caleb's been that he takes too long to make his decisions. And I think when he's got someone in the clear to kick to, he's really, really good. But when there's not too many options available, he does just freeze a little bit. I didn't think he used the ball all that well, but he certainly went in and got it. He was hard at it. He tackled. He chased. He beelined the ball. He had 30-odd disposals. He didn't play a bad game, but it's just his disposal he needs to clean up a little bit. He certainly leads out on the field in our VFL team, and from that aspect, I thought he was pretty good. Thought Burton did some good things. He had a pretty good second half. He was a little bit hungry. He's a bit like KB. He likes to kick a goal. I think he kicked 1 goal 4 or 1 goal 5 or something like that for the day, where he could have given a few off, but I love his enthusiasm, and he performed a really good chase down tackle. Morris Rioli would have been absolutely wrapped with that effort. He is full of grunt and full of go. So, yeah, don't mind him at all. He'll get a go at some point down the track. Richko only played 3 quarters. He was the carryover as an emergency for the AFL team. I think he got close to 30 disposals in the 3 quarters he played. Unfortunately for him, a lot of the disposals he got were short kicks and rushed kicks, so didn't get to see his kicking really on display. He was winning the ball up and down the ground. He's running forward, he's running back, but a lot of the kicks he got were under pressure. Whether he was tagged or not, I'm not sure, but he was certainly at the cold face a lot. I like what I see from him, and he'll get a run at some point not too far down the track, I'd have thought. Of our VFL listed players, Ollie Houghton, that's 2 outstanding games I've seen from him in a row. I think he got it 26 or 27 times, 8 or 9 clearances. He would walk straight into our centre bounce team right now in the AFL. I'm convinced of that. So if we have a spot come mid-season, which at the moment we don't, but if we are able to create one and we don't have a ruckman that we could pick, then I have a feeling that Ollie Houghton would be high up on the list. There's a couple of others in this team that look like they could be pushing for AFL selection too, but this guy stands out for sure, and it would be good to get him on the list with his brother. Hunter looked really good again this week. He kicked 3 goals. I like what he does on the forward line. He's hard at it. He's not that big, but he plays like a bigger guy. I really like what I see from him. George is also not that big, but boy, he's exciting to watch. He kicked a terrific intercept goal. He took a hanger. He's in everybody's face. I like what I see from him. He's a fun player to watch. El Noor was El Noor down the back. He's really good. He's equally as good as Gray, Gibcus and Trainer. Yeah, if you're going to be playing on him, then your work is cut out. He had a really, really good game. Guy I hadn't seen too much of before, Connolly. He came across he was on St Kilda's list, but he hasn't played footy for a couple of years. He's been away overseas. I'm still not sure whether he's a left or right footer. He chooses when he kicks whether he's going to kick on his left or right, a bit like Leon Cameron, but whichever foot he chooses, he uses to perfection. He is a great kick. I saw him swing the ball out on his left out wide to the wings on occasion and then go to the other side on his right and hit those wingers with precision. He kicks the ball really well. He's not a bad interceptor. He's a good size. If we see him continue like that, again, he's close to 30 disposals, quite a few intercepts, use the ball really, really effectively, he'll be another one who'll come up on somebody's radar at some point. So there are 4 changes for Richmond this week and a couple for Freo. Trainer, Fall, Alger and Gray come in, and Broad, Nankervis, Lynch and Trezise go out. Trezise doesn't really surprise me. He hasn't got a lot of the ball. Whether that's been his role or not, I'm not quite sure, but he hasn't got a lot of it in the 2 games for a lot of minutes on. He's been, I think in both games, our second highest minutes played player for a return of 7 or 8 possessions in each game. So I understand why they've done what they've done. He can go back to the reserves. He can get his fill, get 25 or 30 disposals and probably play the role that Trainer has played in the last couple of weeks. Surprised that Trainer got picked, to be honest. I thought it would have been Gibcus with their size and with Trainer still needing to work on a couple of things, but they're obviously wanting to bring the youth in, and that's what they've done. They've gone with Luke Trainer. No ruckman, that really surprises me. Darcy and Jackson present a problem. They may not be all that effective around the ground. I think we're hoping that we're going to be able to ruck to them and then have a Lafau, say, run them off their legs around the ground, or even Gray. They're both pretty mobile. I think the way we've selected the team, it looks like Lafau will do the majority of the rucking and Gray will back him up and also probably play a little bit in defence. We might swing a change and throw Bolter in there, but I don't think so. If we'd have thrown Bolter in there, if that was the plan, then I think we'd have brought Gibcus in to have another big body. Otherwise, we really are short if Bolter goes into the ruck on who will play on one of their massive forwards, and they've got a big forward line. So hopefully the weather will help to nullify their big forwards. I'm not quite sure who Trainer gets. It's probably Jai Amos if he's further up the ground, or Patrick Voss. It just depends on how they line up. Whoever's further up the ground will get Trainer, while Miller and Bolter will play on those deeper big forwards. Thought McAuliffe was really unlucky to get ill last week and to drop out and now not be picked this week. Hopefully in the VFL he gets his 30 plus disposals and uses the ball effectively and comes straight back in. I would have liked to have seen him come straight back in, but Sonsie did play half out of his skin, so I get why they want to give him another chance, and the weather will suit Sonsie. He's not that quick over the ground, and we know in wet weather that that will suit the slower players, so maybe this is where Hopper and Taranto really get at it with probably a little lack of pace, and even Ross to a degree, and they use the heavier ground to their advantage. It will be interesting with the weather because generally skills aren't as important as desire, and I'm hoping that we can bring the pressure and just attack the ball with ferocity, and that will go a fair way to us being right in the game at the end. So my predictions this week, Shea Bolton will miss a couple of shots on goal, then do a hammy and sit the rest of the game out on the bench. Looking forward to that. Voss will keep his hands and gestures to himself this week. Josh Treacle will terrorise our defence. He always does, and he's a great player, and I'm sure he'll kick a bucket load of goals. Jasper Alger will put a marker down that doesn't see him drop for the rest of the year. Just got a feeling that now that he's in the team, if he turns it on like we think he can, I think he'll be there for the rest of the year. I hope so anyway, fingers crossed. Maurice Rioli will have his best game yet for the Tigers. He'll run through the middle of the ground offensively and use his pace and skills to move the ball into the forward line. I've got a feeling he'll get a run further up the ground. My prediction, Tigers to win by 108 points. I can't see how we lose this game. Finally, a g'day to the Western Australian Richmond Supporters Club. They're a great bunch of supporters, very loyal and a lot of fun to attend games with. I've attended many, many games with the guys and girls over in WA. A lot of fun back in the old days to go to Subiaco with them. I'll talk to you after we have our big win. Thanks, everyone. See you later.